Donald Trump's transition team chiefs are giving a big middle finger to the American people, telling them to go take a hike. They're going to keep them in the dark. They're going to compromise national security as a result, and they're going to violate law on the books since 1963 in how they conduct their transition, because they're going to do it their way. They're going to do it in a way that's never been seen before. That's not just a promise. That's a threat that I'm going to cover here on Legal AF and on the MeidasTouch Network. Now, let's talk about transition and how already at this late hour, the Trump transition team has compromised national security. Donald Trump and his campaign, we know, have already been not only targeted by the Iranians, the Chinese, and the Russians, but they've been hacked by them as well. How many times did we have to report over the last several months of the campaign that the Russians, the Iranians, the Chinese have hacked into Donald Trump's Verizon account, his computer servers, downloaded information, and the rest? Now, when you don't sign and you refuse to sign, it's not by accident. When you refuse to sign the required, statutory, by law required memorandums of understanding, the contracts that the Congress requires the presidential transition team, starting 60 days before the election, let alone right now, to enter into, it's for a reason. It's not just to give the presidential transition team and the new incoming president access to $8 or $9 million in funds. It's not just to give them office space. It's not just to, as Tulsi Gabbard, who's apparently going to be in the administration for Donald Trump, has said, we don't want the Biden administration to have moles and know what we're going to do. You mean the transition to protect the American people, that part? And then you've got the co-head of the transition team, Howard Lutnick of Wall Street fame. He looks the news media in the eye because he's on there all the time in places like CNBC touting something. He looks them in the eye and says, you're never going to see a transition team like ours. We're going to do things like nobody's ever seen before. Like violate the law? Like violate the law requiring, since 1963, after the tragedy of John F. Kennedy being assassinated, that they enter into these agreements. And the main thing that's missing, as I started this hot take, is they don't have the cybersecurity and national security protection around them because they haven't come inside the tent by signing these memorandums of understanding. They think they're doing it because the longer we keep the American people in the dark and Joe Biden in the dark, the better, because they'll just try to stop us from our positions. What happened to the public having a seat at the table? What about the public being entitled by constitutional mandate that there be public hearings to confirm federal officers and cabinet members and judges? No, not in the Trump transition team world. In the Trump transition team world, we're going to immediately force the Senate to its knees, including the leader of the ones that'll be going to their knees, which is Rick Scott, handpicked by Susie Wiles, the chief of staff out of Florida. This used to be her boss, and by Elon Musk to be the new Senate majority leader, the new Mitch McConnell. Yeah, he's perfect for the job. When he wasn't a senator and a governor in Florida, he paid a $1.7 billion fine for Medicare fraud when he ran a healthcare company. All right, put that aside for a minute. That guy is going to agree to immediately put the Senate into recess for at least 10 days so that all of these people can shove down the American people's throats without any accountability, without any checks and balance, all of their federal officer appointments, every cabinet position, all these people that we're hearing about, the choice for Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, the choice for Homeland Security, Christine Noem, the choice for the border czar, Tom Homan, the Deputy White House, and all of that's going to have acting after their name, acting federal judges, acting attorney generals, because they're going to go 2 years without a proper vetting and confirmation process because they are, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the transition team and Donald Trump, right, don't have much respect for the American people or its intellect. Okay? Talk about patronizing them. Talk about talking down to them. They're just going to put the public in a corner. Here, you go in the corner. You know, Daddy's working. This is to the American people. Daddy's working here now. You go into the other room, and we'll tell you when it's safe to come out. That is what Donald Trump's transition chief head, Howard Lutnick, and the others are telling you when they're saying, you've never seen a transition like this one before. You mean the one where you compromise national security because none of your communication devices, none of your servers are currently inside the tent under the protection of the national security apparatus and cybersecurity protection? You mean that one? Okay. You got hacked during the campaign when you're running around with your iPhones and things already got leaked. I learned more about J.D. Vance, the new vice president, from the hack than I ever would in any other investigative reporting. But we got this from people who have never served in the government before. We got this. The two heads of the presidential transition team, one headed the World Wrestling Federation. She's the wrestling widow, if you will, of Vince McMahon. And Howard Lutnick, okay, who runs a Wall Street company and has never been on this side of the government. I mean, only when, he's only been on the other side of the government when it comes to regulation. And so this is apparently Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., oh my God, who's never been an elected official, and Jr., and Don Jr., when he's not busy already joining an investment banking firm run by Peter Thiel, ultimately, and alumni of Peter Thiel, who's the big mentor of J.D. Vance. You see how all this comes together? So I agree, okay? You are going to do a transition like it's never been seen before because you're not going to comply with the law. They think it's because we're not going to let the Democrats do to us what we did to them. Right. Because when you did transition, you ripped up all the documents, you shoved them down the toilets, you disconnected all the phones and the computers, and you left it a wreck for the Biden administration. Because you don't care about America. I know all these people are all excited because they got their guy in. Mainly because 2 million Democrats decided to sit out democracy for 4 years. And now we have what this happens. But already, are you seeing the results? The group that didn't want to support Kamala Harris because of her stance related to Israel. You already have Marco Rubio, the person who's going to be Secretary of State, saying no change in Israel policy. Okay. I mean, I don't really know what people thought was going to happen when you put the amateur hour in charge. And now national security is being compromised. Have you heard about NAD+? It's a molecule in every cell of your body, and it's critical to aging well. NAD+ helps keep us feeling youthful by promoting cellular energy, maintaining healthy DNA, using nutrients efficiently, and supporting detoxification. But did you know NAD+ levels plummet with age? So by age 50, most people's NAD+ levels are only half of what they were at age 20. Falling NAD+ levels is a major reason that signs of aging start to accelerate. Luckily, science has discovered a way to boost your NAD+ levels up to 50%. It's called Qualia NAD+, a groundbreaking supplement from Qualia. Many doctors and health experts over age 30 use Qualia NAD+ themselves. And I'm proud to have them sponsor this podcast because their pioneering research and life-changing nutritional formulas are transforming how well people can age. Look, I want to feel decades younger than my actual age, especially with my 4-month-old daughter in the house. That's why I'm staying at the cutting edge of aging research and boosting my NAD+ levels with Qualia NAD+. Qualia NAD+ is a huge part of how well I age and putting it in my control. NAD+ is a large molecule that struggles to be bioavailable if you just supplement it directly. That's why Qualia NAD+ supports NAD+ the right way by including ingredients called NAD+ precursors that your body can convert into NAD+ to boost your body's own NAD+ production up to 50%. And boosting your body's NAD+ production takes a full understanding of how it is created. That's why Qualia NAD+ has many other holistic ingredients that support every key aspect of NAD+ production in your body. And get this, Qualia NAD+ is clinically tested and naturopathic doctor formulated. I've been using Qualia NAD+ for about 6 months now. And I'm experiencing energy levels and vitality that I thought I'd never feel again. I had zero idea how much NAD Plus levels played in making me feel tired and run down and, well, feel my age. Nutritional science is reaching the point where someone 50 or 60 can feel 30 or 40, but only if they take advantage of these scientific breakthroughs. To boost your NAD Plus levels up to 50%, go to qualialife.com/truth for up to 50% off and use code TRUTH at checkout for an additional 15% off. That's qualia.com/TRUTH for an extra 15% off your purchase. Thanks to Qualia for sponsoring this podcast. Let me commend something to this Keystone Cops of a transition team. You're not, by keeping America in the dark, you're doing them a disservice and you're insulting them and putting baby in the corner while daddy does all the work and trying to shove all of your outlandish cabinet picks and federal officers and judges down our throats. And you try to use the 2 years and a recess appointment to do it is not only insulting, it's unconstitutional, and we'll all see you in court. I mean, that's really what our position's got to be here, not only in the MeidasTouch Network and on Legal AF, but in our community. We'll see you in court. You are not going to get away with making us less secure, with taking away our public rights to be at the table under the Constitution and the separation of powers and the checks and balances, right? And you're not going to do it in a way that compromises our national security. Already, there should be a move to go into court to force them to comply with the Presidential Transition Act. And I found it the height of hypocrisy for the criminal lawyers for Donald Trump to look Judge Merchan in New York in the eye and give him as a reason today to delay the sentencing or postpone it indefinitely of Donald Trump for crimes before he was president in 2016. The reason is that they're complying with the Presidential Transition Act of 1963, which they are not. And they're not, and it's not by accident, and it's not a typo. It is on purpose, right? That's the quote we've heard. It is on, I'm not even going to play the quote. You just trust me. I do a pretty good impersonation. It is what they're telling people. And we're going to, I think the takeaway from being involved with the MeidasTouch Network for 4.5 years, being involved with the founding of and a founder of Legal AF is the following. We did not build these channels. We did not build this network in just like a vehicle, campaign vehicle to get Joe Biden and or Kamala Harris elected. Our ideals were broader than that, to be durable, to be lasting, to continue to serve our community, build and serve our community. On the other side of Tuesday, whatever happened, and now more than ever, the intersection of law and politics is where democracy may have gone to die, but not without a fight. And we're going to continue to talk about how to lead that fight here on the MeidasTouch Network. Hit the subscribe button. And also on that new channel we formed just before Election Day. You know, we waited to form Legal AF, the YouTube channel, but we thought it was important to get it up and running a couple of weeks before Election Day. Not just because, again, we didn't build it just to win an election. Quite the opposite. We built it in case. It's the break glass moment, right? We're on the other side of the glass in case of emergency, Meidas and Legal AF. And we're here for you. And we're so pleased and respectful of the support that we have, linking arms, arm in arm, side by side, moving forward, keeping the bastards accountable. I'm Michael Popok. This is MeidasTouch and Legal AF. In collaboration with the MeidasTouch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.